That's pretty cool. I'm like, what does it even mean?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coaches Convos. I'm Coach Will, and as always, I'm here with Coach Quan. I want to thank you guys always for checking in every week, liking and commenting, and always giving us new topics. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between being optimal in the gym versus just working out in the gym in a safe and effective way. This is something that's been bothering me personally for a while. There's been a new age of optimal fitness, and all these kids are now coming into the gym. First thing they're doing is hyper-focusing on specific muscle groups, and all for the sake of being optimal, and all for the sake of having the most efficient workout. Now, while I like having efficient workouts, the wording of this and the oversimplification bothers me. But before I really dig into it, I want your take on the whole optimal movement and how that's really been affecting you in training, how you've been training yourself, and how you've been seeing people in the gym.
Alright, so I would start with myself first, and then I would go into everyone else. So for myself necessarily, training, nothing has changed. It's all the boring stuff that I keep into my routine. So I'm not looking to change anything, implement anything that I see from Instagram or TikTok. But that's something that I do notice with clients, that they necessarily come to me and they talk, oh, can we try this? Can we do this workout? Which is necessarily cool. It's good. I like recommendations and trying new things and doing, progressing in different ways. But then it comes to a point where, is this optimal for our goal? So then that comes into the ineffective workouts. Now I'm doubling all those. I'm saying no to doing the ineffective workouts. For my athletes, say they're doing like box jumps or something. Everyone wants to jump super high.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your max box jump doing for us necessarily? So we're not going to max out your box jump all the time. We'll probably do that once every 4 months, literally. So,
right.
They're always implementing, like, they want higher boxes and stuff. I'm just like, guys, it's not necessary. It's not necessarily to jump one time 26 inches necessarily. Alright, so, but then from there, if say it's something that is optimal, we are going to probably necessarily try it, but try it starting off with little progressions, of course, just to make sure that they could actually do said workout and said routine. But again, I just make sure that it goes with their goals, and it's going to get them to their goals, whether it's sets, reps, or timed intervals for anyone training, for my group class ladies, athletes, and then also my one-on-ones, making sure that it'll get you to your goal, and it makes sense to add the workout to the routine, and then it makes sense that you're doing it properly as well, before we progress and make it even harder.
No, absolutely. I definitely want to emphasize the difference between optimal and effective and useful, because a lot of people are interchanging that word. So saying that lat pull downs are optimal for your back, well, they're effective and useful. Are they the be all end all of your back workout? Absolutely not. If that's the only thing you're doing is JPJ lat pull downs or any kind of like
mag like pull
Yep.
downs, like have all 4 different attachments.
Exactly.
Close, grip, medium, wide. All 4 of those are different attachments. I get what you're saying.
They're all important, but are they the be all end all? Are they the only ones you should be using?
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that they are effective. I think that they're useful. And I think as you become more advanced, and that's what I really want to focus on, the more advanced lifters require new stimulus. Your body is a master adapter.
Yeah.
So if you're starting off with purely optimal, you're going to hit your highest potential way too early. You're going to hit your threshold way too early, and now you're going to be stuck in a plateau when there was so much more for you to build a foundation on. You know what is optimal? In my opinion, what I find optimal, 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours of sleep is optimal. You know what I also find optimal? Getting to your protein limit. You know what else I find optimal? Being in the gym in general.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a new lifter and you fell in love with Gym Talk and you fell in love with all these fitness pages, the most optimal thing for you, you're looking at all these people that are either not natural or have been in the gym for years and
10,
they need different forms of stimulation, or you might have hypertrophy based training and that might not be your goal. Your goal might be for power, or it might be for agility. I don't want my athletes training with hypertrophy-based optimization. That doesn't make sense for them.
Not necessarily.
Or my powerlifter. I don't want my powerlifter to be doing single arm rows with a twist just to maximize the size of his lat. I don't care about the size of his lat. I care about the size of his deadlift.
Exactly.
So, what's optimal for you is what's optimal for you. Don't be looking at these people online and thinking, oh, this is the only way to train. There's been such a flattening of the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Online, and it's been really bothering me because there are some things that are across the board. Like I would say every form of fitness, I think your compound movements are important. Your bench, your squat, your deadlift is arguable, but your bench and your squat are so important for whatever you're doing. My bench is important for my powerlifter as well as important for my boxer. They both need that chest strength. They both need that ability, whether it's to bench more on their competition or to throw a better fist and to hit better.
Yeah.
So
get that stability in the joint. Won't necessarily have them doing the same weight ranges or rep ranges necessarily. It all is a little bit different. So that all is a major factor and has to go into play when you are training optimally compared to just coming in and training. But I like how you touched base on what you think is optimal. I would agree with all three of those. Getting the sleep, getting the nutrition, and then being in the environment. All right, so that goes for people that are in the environment already, and that goes for beginners also. We are trying to progress while we're here, and the only way to do that is to train optimally and effectively. Both of those words together instead of mixing them together and thinking that we're doing something in that sense. All right, I definitely agree with that.
Exactly, and this video was mainly for new lifters, baby lifters, people who are just stepping into the gym. The most optimal thing you can do is 3 sets of 10. Honestly, it's something, getting into the gym and working out your total body, hitting every muscle group at least twice a week, is going to be what's optimal for you because your body needs a firm foundation. So understanding, having a good mind-muscle connection and having a good foundation of strength is going to be the most optimal for you, because then once your body is accustomed to that and acclimated, well then now, let's go into specific-based training, whether it's strength-based training, power-based training, explosive training, hypertrophy-based training. That's what you need, and that's what you can look at afterwards. But for everyone across the board, the most optimal thing for you to do is to maintain a healthy diet, maintain a healthy recovery protocol, and to be in the gym with general fitness.
Yeah, and like you were saying, your base sets, 3 sets, 10 reps, and that could change depending on how many workouts you're looking to do in the set day, and then you could even do more sets and less sets, or more reps and less reps, depending on what you're actually looking to achieve. But really dive in, take it serious. Also, your warm-ups and your cool-downs are super important too, so I would definitely advise doing that for beginners, advanced lifters as well. Making sure that you're getting proper blood flow before you jump in and do like a workout, like a bench press or a deadlift or something like that. Most definitely.
Stretching is certainly optimal. I agree with you 100%.
It's boring, but it's definitely
exactly. The most optimal things are not going to be the fun stuff that you see online. Most stuff you see online is there for your entertainment.
Exactly. And for us in our aspect, we do the bodybuilding. So when we look at the bodybuilders, we're like, what are they doing? They are doing nothing that is super fun or super exciting. They are sitting there on the Smith machine incline press, on the row machine, T-bar, like it is nothing that is super pretty, super exciting. They just make it hard and then they just go ham. That's literally the only explanation I have for it. It's something that they've been doing for their 15, 20-year careers, whatever, necessarily, it hasn't changed. So what I'm really just trying to say is that our workouts are super boring. I've been doing the same workouts for all 4 years, literally. So I do try and mix it in, throw in like fun stuff like box jumps, and then I also try like the HIIT workouts and stuff. But when I do that stuff, I know in the back of my mind that it's not optimal and it's getting me to my goal. It's effective for the said workout for that hour or that 30 minutes or that 15 minutes or whatever time frame, but it's not necessarily going to get me to my goal. So just keep that in mind when you do want to mix in different routines or try new things. Just to, you got a little bored, you want to have a little fun. It does get boring inside the gym. I'm going to just keep saying that it does get boring. Trust me. Absolutely.
And these optimal workouts, they are optimal to specific people. That's what I was saying before. Like, for example, all the biggest thing was JPG and his lats. And he's a hypertrophy-based trainer, and that's what he's focusing on. So he's focusing on the hypertrophy, the growth of your lats, which is for aesthetics or for bodybuilding. That's very important. So some of the workouts that he was showing, I've been doing for years. That one-hand row with a twist, I've been doing that for a long time because I knew it adds in a beneficial stretch and it adds a different stimulus to your lat that you might not normally do. But again, that's after I do my boring workouts, like Quan said. That's after I've done my rows, my regular lat pull downs, my barbell rows. And one thing I really like that you said is that you look at these bodybuilders and they make it hard. They make the simple things hard. Try that. I'm a big proponent of isometric and eccentric training. I take the regular 3x10 and I stretch it out for double the time because I'm going to go to the bottom of the rep. I'm going to hold for 5 seconds and I'm going to explode back up into the top of the rep. And then I'm going to do a 5-second negative and stretch out and really force every little bit of ATP out of me. I'm doing a simple workout. I'm doing the bench press. I'm doing the chest press. I'm making all of these harder. I'm making all these simple workouts harder. Perfect example of when we talk about bodybuilders. My friend just sent me last night I think it was Tom Platz or one of those old school golden era bodybuilders leg workout. This was ridiculous, and I had to explain to him this workout doesn't make sense if you're not on gear. If you don't have the recovery, if you don't have the ability to recover properly. It doesn't make sense to do this. It starts with 5 sets of 20 on the Smith machine, squats, and then 3 sets of 15 or 4 sets of 15 on the hack squat. And then, so it was way too much volume, way too many reps, way too many exercises. This isn't optimal. This was a great workout if you drop the weight to like 50%. And that's what I told him. I said, this workout is disgusting and useless unless you're either doing half the reps and sets or half the volume or half the weight.
I would say go at your own pace necessarily. So maybe trying the workout, doing it, same sets, same reps, but your own weight resistance.
Yes, I agree. I think that would be the best way to do it because if you're going at such a lighter weight, because he didn't give weights on the video.
Yeah.
He just gave like the sets and reps.
Oh, okay.
So it was no.
Yeah, I thought it was more visual.
And what I do appreciate. Because it wasn't his workout. Someone was redoing his workout. Okay. It was another fitness creator redoing his workout. And what I do appreciate about this creator, and this is why, when we talk about looking up these social media influencers, I respect this influencer because he says, this workout is not beneficial. You have a high risk of injury. If you're going to do this, he said the same thing. Do it at a lower weight range. Like, do it at a lower weight if you're going to do this. But he admitted it's a great pump. I agree. I think that looking at that with how much leg extension, because it was like 3 or 4 compound lifts. It was the squats, the Smith squats, the hack squat, the leg press, and then I think it was leg extension curls, and calf raises. This is stuff that I do, but I don't do 5 sets of 20.
Exactly, and here's what I would say. Base it off of your goal. Now, we are doing the bodybuilding stuff, but we're not at that level of bodybuilding. Of course, we're not on, the gear. So, we're not at that level of bodybuilding, not trying to reach that goal. So what I'm trying to say is we don't necessarily have to put ourselves in that position.
Yes.
All right, so what used to be optimal doesn't necessarily have to be optimal for us. So that's what I'm saying. They used it back then. They did the workouts back then. That's what I like doing. I like going back and looking up old workouts and then trying them. But they're all crazy.
Yes.
They're literally all crazy. So, but it was optimal for those people in that sense.
Optimal.
Exactly.
It was optimal. Knowing what we know now, it wasn't optimal. This was just really good for when you had very fast recovery from being on anabolic steroids. But even then, it still was way too much on their joints and on your lower back and all this, like all the other things that don't recover at the same rate as your muscles. And that's why a lot of these bodybuilders now have a lot of mobility issues, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering because they overtrained to the point where it no longer was beneficial for their body, their muscles, and all it was doing was damaging their joints, ligaments, and central nervous system.
Exactly. And now I want to think about that. in the aspect of where are they now. Just real quick, where are they now? They're all probably necessarily broken down, and then some, unfortunately, passed due to the steroid use and stuff like that. So you got to really think about what is optimal for your health necessarily, and as you were saying before, getting a good amount of rest, getting good nutrition, and then being in the space, being in the environment, just focusing on your health is optimal to get anyone started and to keep anyone on track necessarily. All right, keeping that in mind, keeping your goals in mind, and making sure that you're still working out won't hurt.
Absolutely. And where were we going with that? We were talking about, we were just talking about old school bodybuilding, how it wasn't effective, how it was. You got to find what's optimal for you. So our biggest takeaway, the too long didn't read version of this podcast, is what's optimal is the basics. What's optimal is proper rest and recovery. What's optimal is proper nutrition. What's optimal is a good foundation of strength training to make sure that your form is perfect, to make sure that your form is actually making it so you're feeling what you're supposed to be feeling, that you're not feeling every back workout in your forearm, you're not feeling every chest workout in your front delt, to make sure you're not feeling your leg workouts in your lower back. All of that is optimal. Having real form is optimal, and then whatever you do after that is going to give you serious gains in the gym and serious long-term longevity and long-term health. That's the most important part.
Yeah, 100%, and I definitely have to agree. Now, if there was anything that you would see, what would you say is like a not optimal workout or routine? What would you say?
Ooh, anything that's telling you to do 100 plus of any workout.
Like 100 push-ups?
100 push-ups,
okay.
100 pull-ups, anything like that. Now, calisthenics is different.
Curls. Well, yeah.
Calisthenics is different to a degree. I'll put an ampersand on that because it's a lot less damage on your joints and a lot less damage on your body, but it's still, once you give out, once you burn that ATP, once you're going to that high rep range, your form gives out. You lose the form, you lose the efficiency, and now I'm thrusting myself up in my pull-up with my lower back, or I'm kicking with my legs, or my shoulders are completely taking over and I'm flaring my elbows out in a push-up, or my squats are garbage, whether they're quarter reps or I'm throwing my chest up, or I'm just absolutely being inefficient. Less is more. Less is more. We were just talking about that, how we're making the simple things hard. I can make 5 reps feel agonizing if I take it down to the slowest eccentric and the isometric, where I am holding your muscle hostage for as long as possible and getting the most out of every rep.
Different.
It's
absolutely. Literally different, trust me.
We've done that with the 1.5 rep in our videos, where we've done
the mid-row.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff is just absolutely torturous because we're not doing more reps necessarily. One workout I say that we do more reps of, like I don't know about you, I don't go past 20.
20? Yeah, no, I maybe hit like 25 tops. And
okay.
That's with like super lightweight on like the rear delts or something like that.
Absolutely. So that's what's better. So any workout that has you doing, any rep routine that has you doing 50 plus, 100 plus of any workout, because all that's going to happen is you're overriding running your nervous system, and you're running a higher risk of injury because by rep 30, you're not doing perfect form anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're taking 1,000 breaks, and then now, again, we're not optimal. We're putting too much rest. We're not getting that hypertrophic response we want or that cardiovascular response we want.
Yeah, exactly. And then to touch base on the cardiovascular, necessarily what's optimal for you is what you aren't doing. So say if you came in and you were a newbie to the gym and maybe you're averaging maybe 8,000 steps, maybe try and get 1,000, 2,000 more steps through in with the day, and then that's going to be pretty good for you. Necessarily everyone's body's different, so our ranges would be different too. But what's said is to be optimal is doing more than what you were doing. But keep in mind, doing more is not always a good thing, okay? Doing too much of something is not always a good thing. So we were just talking about doing less is more. So just adding maybe 1,000 steps through in the day, maybe 15 minutes of cardio. I recommend 15 minutes to 45 minutes, but it's hard to do that on a daily basis, so 15 minutes is a little bit better, and it makes it easier to stay more consistent on it. We want to make it like a lifelong thing. So
I agree. I'm so glad you said that about cardio, because if you see everywhere, the most optimal cardio machine is the Stairmaster. 30 minutes on the Stairmaster, you're gonna melt the fat away. All right, well, if you've never done stairs before, if you've never done a Stairmaster, 30 minutes is impossible. It's not a realistic.
I've gotten 5 minutes. Tops,
it's not a realistic goal. So now, if you're saying, "Oh, this is the most optimal thing to do. This is the only thing I should be doing in the gym," and I can't do it, well, then you're gonna give up.
Yeah, exactly.
So less is more. Try 5 minutes on the stairs. 5 minutes is a lot on the stairs. 5 minutes feels like 30. You'll feel like it's been 30 minutes. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that with the cardiovascular. Any other type of non-optimal, anything that is only unilateral or only together. I would just have this conversation with my friends. He's worried about a little bit of a muscle imbalance. And he asked if he should only do unilateral for a little while. No, not necessarily, because you're going to lose a lot of strength benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Training unilaterally, and honestly, this conversation I had with him was where this whole topic based off, because he kept saying optimal. He kept saying over and over again how this isn't optimal, this isn't optimal, and there comes a point where it's different types of optimal. Like, yeah, if you only do unilateral, you're gonna correct that muscle imbalance for sure, but
something's gonna get.
You're losing a lot of strength benefits because you cannot push the same amount of weight unilaterally than you can. Is that bilaterally? Right? Is that like the scientific term for using both hands? For using your hands together. So doing a one-hand hammer strength versus a barbell or a Smith machine, you're gonna get a lot of a different result. Me personally, I do both. Whenever I do any kind of weight training, I'm alternating between unilateral and both hands together.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with you. I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe in that too. Once you do a different style of training, you're going to give and lose something from the other thing. So that just falls back into keeping the goal in mind necessarily. So like you said, goals change. Training does change along with your goals. So making sure that you're keeping that in mind when you are training on the floor, at home, at the park, wherever you necessarily may train. Just keep it in mind when you are doing your workout, no matter what it is. Make sure it's effective. You're doing it perfectly. Mm-hmm. Good posture and form, and then we want to get that stimulus. That's what we're looking for.
Absolutely. I got one more for bad routines, non-optimal routines, and then I'll throw it back to you, ladies. If your booty building routine has only glute training, it's a bad routine. That's why it's so important to look at routines when you're looking at different trainers and different programs online. It has to be a full. If it can be booty centered and glute focused, but if all you're doing is hip thrusts, clamshells, glute bridges, and donkey kicks, if that's your whole workout and you haven't even touched your hamstrings or your calves or your quads, that's a bad workout. That's not an optimal workout. Is it optimal because you're focusing on your glutes? Is it optimal for your glutes? Technically, yes, but are you going to get more glute response out of a compound lift like a deadlift or a squat? Yes, absolutely. So that's things that anything that is going to only focus on one body part, unless you are specialized training, unless you are down the road and you're looking to add a specialization to your already boring program. So if you're already doing a 3-day total body or an upper lower split and you want to add a glute focused day, that's different than having glutes 5 days a week.
Yeah, I would agree. And now I would say I'm kind of the same on that, where it's like, guys, if we're only doing our upper body, we don't have our legs, no calves, anything, that isn't going to be optimal. I know you want your chest to grow, but that's not good for your overall body. And same thing with the girls. If they're doing only leg workouts 5 times a week, where's the balance, man? Where's the balance? I don't know. It's really tiny. So going the same thing for dudes as well. Only working their upper body, that isn't going to necessarily get you anything. Doing your legs necessarily boost that testosterone. So that's something that we want to make sure that we're hitting and getting. And then for our ladies, we just want to keep our routines mixed and split. Get your upper body and your lower body in, just so that we're all fully balanced out here.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell button. New videos are going to be every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, yes. New videos every Tuesday at 10. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to at us, follow us. Our ads are going to be down here. If you have any topics you want us to talk about, if you have any questions, or if you're looking for programs or online coaching or in-person coaching, You can hit both of the links in both of our bios, and you'll be able to reach out to one of us. All right, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week.